With college fees, rent, and keeping up a social life, students have it rough. If you're just starting to save, well, we're all here with you. I am here to try and help you with your saving issues. I started by asking students from Ballyfermot College the daunting question if they saved. Do you save regularly?
I try my best.
Yeah, I try to whenever I can.
No.
How much a week or a month do you save?
It's kind of hard to work out. I would have to actually sit down and budget it. But I generally try to save just little bits here and there on a day-to-day.
Per week, I try my best to save €20, just because I do like graphic design, so I'm just saving for software. So I'm like, €20 would be the max per week.
Is there a reason why you don't save?
Mainly because I only make enough to support myself, and I just don't have any money left over to put away. If I knuckle down in that, I probably could put away, but I just haven't really thought about that yet.
And do you have a job?
Yes.
Yeah, I do. I work part-time in a restaurant.
Yeah, I have a part-time job in a bar.
What would you normally spend your money on?
The essentials, food, clothing if necessary, things like that. And then if I really feel like I've saved enough and been good, I can spend it on something stupid.
Probably necessities like food and public transport and stuff like that. But I often do splurge on shopping and holidays.
Clothes like ASOS, AliExpress, and mainly clothes. Yeah.
And so you said you would save your money for your software.
Yeah.
And what else would you save your money for?
Renting apartments, so just anything to house to move out eventually.
Yeah.
So just saving for an apartment or whatever.
What do I save my money for? Part of it would be just for rainy day. If something goes wrong and I have to go to a doctor and pay for that, I'd have a bit of a saving there. Or again, if I want to go for a night out or something, I have a bit of money saved up for that.
With everything that goes on in our lives, it's hard to start this process that might come strange to some of us. A short survey was carried out to investigate the spending habits and saving statuses for students. The majority of the students had jobs. The average student will spend under €5 to €10 on their lunch while in college every day. Only 13% of students prepared their food at home. Within the survey, the students were asked if they save regularly, with the options of yes, no, and sometimes. The majority agreed they saved regularly, but the no's and the sometimes outweighed the yeses. The most common way people spent their money was eating out, followed by travel, nights out, and holidays. The main reason students who did save saved their money for their future. I got in touch with a representative from the welfare sector of the Union of Students in Ireland to talk to me about how to save.
So my name is Roisin O'Donovan and I'm the Vice President for Welfare for the Union of Students in Ireland, which is the national representative body for 374,000 students across the island of Ireland. So we do loads of different things in the area of advocating for student rights, fighting for publicly funded education, social injustice as well for students. We do a lot of work in that area. And my role as Vice President for Welfare basically contains everything from accommodation, finance, mental health, physical health, sexual health, addiction from alcohol, drugs, eating disorders. So a big thing I do is working on loads of national policy, ensuring the student voice is reflected in big decisions being made. Work really closely with national and external organisations, and running national campaigns as well around mental health and sexual health. I suppose saving is so important for students because it's really expensive at the moment to, first of all, just to get into third level education, but also to stay in there. So I think saving is obviously a really handy thing to have. I think it's a skill as well. It's a good skill to have because you don't know where you're going to be maybe after education, maybe don't know what kind of financial situations you may get into while you're in college. Sometimes extenuating circumstances just kind of come up out of the blue when you're in college. So I think it's best to save just so you can be maybe as prepared as possible. Again, I suppose people have different reasons for saving. Some people save for emergencies. Some people save to go on a nice holiday. And some people save so they can maybe save up for a new car or maybe for moving out of their home. If they want to be a bit more independent, to live by themselves or maybe live with a partner. There's loads of different reasons, but absolutely encourage all students to save if they can while they're in college. But it is a hard thing because it's so expensive for students to get into college and then stay in college. To know what the ideal amount a student should save per week is quite a hard question to ask. I think it really depends on the situation the student is in, and whether they're like more financially dependent maybe on their parents, or whether they're more independent and they kind of finance everything by themselves. So I think it'd be a kind of hard thing to ask. Like, it's much easier for a student who's maybe living at home and not paying any rent, compared to someone that's living in student accommodation and have to pay like sometimes up to €1,000 a month in rent. Is much easier for the student living at home to maybe save. Again, a student that's working full time would maybe find it a little bit easier to save than a student that's not working at all. So yeah, it is hard to kind of gauge what students should be saving. It really depends, like, personally on what suits them. As the biggest, like, most important thing is just to see what's like most sustainable. So what kind of amount of money can you put away every week or every 2 weeks or every month, maybe over the next like couple of years. And maybe it might be nice to have like a goal in mind. So like, I want to have €200 saved by the end of the year. So how many euros per week do I have to put into my bank account to have that €200 a year. So yeah, it's kind of a hard question to ask, but yeah, it kind of depends. So I think there's loads of different ways students can save. So you can be very old fashioned and have like a piggy bank in your room, where you put like a €5 a week or whatever kind of amount of money is most sustainable for you, and put it through that way. You can set up a credit union account. You go to a bank, and you can go talk to your local student union and see if there's like maybe a bank on campus that you can. That's maybe like much more easier to access. I think it depends as well, like how often you want to get the money. And like, I know credit unions, I think they might be a bit harder to get your money out than maybe to, if you had like a piggy bank in your room where you can just get it whenever you want. Same with some of the banks, whether it's like AIB or Bank of Ireland, whatever bank it is, you may be able to get access to your money like quite instantly compared to maybe other forms. So yeah, loads of different ways of doing it, I suppose, but it's really just deciding what way you want to, how often you want to access your money. So yeah, a few different ways. So his tips would be, I say definitely go to like your local student union and maybe talk to your welfare officer there, and maybe they could sit down with you, or maybe like accommodation finance department in your college as well. They can sit down with you and kind of do up like a budget plan. I think definitely kind of writing out like what your income is, whether you're full-time working or you're getting like an allowance from someone that's supporting you, seeing where you're getting in, kind of maybe analysing and see like where you're spending most of your money. I've like loads of friends that have like burritos and everything like every week, which is fine because they're delicious, but they are like €8 a day. So when you think like the end of the week, that's like €40, nearly probably a bit more in burritos just in 1 week. So I think like packing your own lunch can be a really good saving tip to have as well. If you have a Keep Cup as well now, loads of like cafes. So if you're a big like coffee and addict like myself, coffee or tea addict like myself, you can get like a discount if you use your reusable cup now in cafes. So that's like a nice little way. Again, if you're getting like a coffee every day, you save 20 cents. By the end of the month, you have a couple of extra euro, which is handy. A couple of ways of saving, yeah. So bring in your own meals, a Keep Cup. I suppose, yeah, setting up some sort of saving account would be great as well. Maybe deciding if you have a goal, how much you kind of want to put away every week to make it sustainable as well. I think talking to someone about it as well, because the worst is when you're kind of stressing about money and your finances. Because again, like it's hard to get into college because it's so expensive, and as well it's really hard to stay in it as well, because of the way the education system is funded at the minute in Ireland. It can be like difficult and stressful, so it has an impact on your mental health as well. So yeah, definitely worthwhile kind of maybe try and change a couple of things so you can save some money.
I've been Lisa O'Reilly. Thank you for watching.